Welcome back to Access Houston on 97.9 The Box.
Good Sunday morning. You're listening to Access Houston. I'm your host, KG Smooth, welcoming to the program. Wow. I just realized that this is his first time on this program. As much as we see each other out in the streets, at events, and he has his own publication celebrating 20 years. He is a market icon. You know his publication. And he is here this morning. Give it up for Mr. Keith D. Mars Davis Sr., better known as D. Mars. Good morning, sir. Welcome.
What's going on, Doc? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, Doc. How about you?
I'm like the old folks say, I'm good. God is good. I'm a blessed man.
You are a blessed man. DMars.com, the paper, the publication, everything, a staple in Houston. Can you talk about what was your vision in creating this all those years ago?
Yeah, KG, I was, I said to myself, if I stayed in business 20 years, I was going to write a book. One of my favorite books is Think and Grow Rich, and Napoleon Hill. And in his book, he said he took 20 years of collecting data. And I said, if I made 20 years, I'm going to take all this data and put it in a book and give it to the community. This community been good to me. And, I want to be respectful and make sure, I celebrate that. And if I could touch the next generation or even the present generation to do better, to give more, to make sure we take care of this community that we have. So, so it's a pleasure being on the show and having this conversation with you. Yeah,
indeed. Because what I love about you is that you love us like I love us, and you love Houston, and you so pro and unapologetically black, and that's what we need, and that's what I love for people to do when they come on this show. Because this show is purposely, I use this platform for us to make us more aware whatever's going on. If it's black, I'm down with it. Come on, Access Houston. Let's talk about it, because I really feel like it's that time. You know what I'm saying? These folks, they done had a 400+ year head start, and we've never gotten anything. And so right now, I'm just all about us. Like these new presidential candidates that keep popping up, I want to hear what you're going to do for black folks specifically. I'm talking reparations. You know what I'm saying? And I know that you one of the ones that are about that life here. And so it's an honor for me to have you here. But congratulations on 20 years, though. That's nothing to scoff at at all. What has the journey been like in these 20 years?
Man, 20 years, it's been a journey. I could truly say I done had a lot of ups and downs, good and bad. But I don't think I'd trade the journey.
Yeah.
That's why people don't understand why we don't call our paper the newspaper. We call it a journal because we want to talk about the journey. And just like you said, the reason I started this whole thing was because when I was growing up in Fifth Ward, it was like our community, everything was so negative about our community. We was the less educated. They just didn't paint the picture that we was greater than. We was always pictured less than.
Right.
And so I wanted to dedicate my life. To inspire and inform and educate our community. And 20 years later, like you said, that's what we did. And we did not waver, from that. It wasn't, nobody could make me change it for monetary reasons or anything. It was the right thing to do. Because just like, when we make these recordings or we put a print in the paper, it's history.
Yeah.
It's our legacy. It's a story we gonna tell. And when my kids and my grandkids or the people in the community know that I was true to this community, I will not waver. And, I am who I am, and I believe that, I believe a person should be the original.
Yeah.
And when you're the original, you can't be fake.
That's right.
And so, like we sitting here today, I remember one part of the book it was talking about sometimes, I use jewels and treasures because sometimes we don't understand the treasures we have.
Mm-hmm.
And and all the riches in our own backyard. And so that's one of the things that I want to share with our community, through our one chapter is faith, one chapter is golden voice, one chapter is diamond relationship. And one thing I could say, when you try to do right, people like yourself and other people who know you, they have a certain respect for you.
Absolutely.
And one of the things I want to do is open up some of my personal side. Most people know me in the community as Mr. D. Mars,
right.
But now I want them to know Keith J. Davis Sr. And so that's kind of what I'm telling some of the stories, because I want them to really know that life for me ain't just been a crystal stair.
Indeed.
So that's kind of what I'm sharing in this book.
Indeed. You're listening to Access Houston. We're talking to Keith J. Davis Sr., better known as Mr. D. Mars. He has just written a book, Maximizing Your Own Treasure Chest. You just heard him going through some of the chapters in the books. And aptly named, because I noticed how you use the term gems. And so with the title having treasure chest on there, so it's telling me that this book is a treasure chest full of gems. What are some of the things that you focus on in this book?
Well, when I was writing it, every chapter is a lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And, I could go to some of the chapters, like chapter 1 is faith, chapter 2 is gold mine.
I turned right to a gold mine. Like when it just stopped, a gold mine. Okay, that's chapter 2. Nice.
Diamond relationships, golden voices. And since we talking on the radio, so we're going to stop at golden voices. And golden voices is, for me, it's like everybody, when they think about golden voices, they always think about just great singers, which they have golden voices. That's true. But for me, golden voices are those voices that you hear that stick with you to make you do the right thing or motivate you or something you said. Like you have a golden voice. Your voice touched people in so many ways you probably can't imagine.
I can't.
So, but what about the everyday person? So that said something to you that was so profound, it changed your perspective.
Yeah.
They may not have been famous,
right?
But it's some that they said that changed your life. One incident I could tell you that, like when I was younger and I used to be driving in my car, my little son would be with me and he would always say, "Dad, put on your seatbelt," because they had a campaign running about buckle up. And every time I would get in that car, I would think about his voice in my head. Dad, put on your seatbelt.
Yeah.
Because if something happened, all I could hear him say, "Dad, why you didn't have your seatbelt on?" So, those are golden voices, So, and everybody have a golden voice. And, we want to make sure you use your golden voice and receive the golden voices that you hadn't heard in your life. So pay attention to them.
Indeed. Come on with the gems on a Sunday morning. Look, I'm not gonna even have to go to church. we got a Reverend Davis in the building this Sunday morning, giving us a good word. Man, D. Mars, you've owned a lot of businesses. There's a lot of, with the shift in the culture, especially with us blacks. I feel it and I see it. Us coming together, supporting each other more. Trying to do what Nip did. And you, being an entrepreneur yourself, what advice could you give to someone who was starting a business or thinking about starting? Like, what are some things that they should know going into this?
When I first started in business, I was, I was a young guy with I was very ambitious. And so what I've learned on this journey, is diamond relationships. I understood about the business of networking. Because if you're in business just for pricing, somebody can always come along and give a better price.
Yeah.
But if you have a relationship with those people, they'll say, you know, you're a little high, but I'm gonna still roll with you. And my clients, they've been rolling with me for 20 years. And so I would tell anybody, understand the power of relationships. I know you can get on the computer and you don't have relationships with a lot of people that you may do business with, but your core people that do business with you, you need to meet them somewhere so you can have a face-to-face exchange. One of the things that I would tell my staff at D. Mars and our Vasquez Media Group, we believe in emotional content.
Mm-hmm.
This book is written with emotional content. Mm-hmm. We're going to make you feel what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like this conversation we having. We are having emotional content because I'm going to be open and you're going to be open, because we understand that we touch the emotion of a person, we could create change.
Yes.
And that's what we're doing. And, you know, I think it's my obligation, it's your obligation when God put you in a position of influence. You have the right and the responsibility to do that. And so
Come on,
that's
man.
why
You better keep talking that talk this morning, man.
that's why we got to do what we got to do to make sure that we was given this community, and when we leave, we got to at least make it a little bit better.
Come on, man. Don't get me emotional in here, man. My eyes are starting to sweat. I'm trying to stop the sweating on my eyeballs here, because that's the real, man. Man, D. Mars is in the building. Maximizing Your Own Treasure Chest is out right now. You can get it at KeithJDavisSR.com, KeithJDavisSenior.com. Man, what you got coming up, bro? What's next? Of course, you know, the books. Of course, you know, we see you all around town. You know, the unofficial, official mayor of Houston, basically. What else we got popping?
Man, definitely we getting ready for our big women event that we do, the top influential women of Houston.
Yeah.
But we also gonna celebrate our 20 years, our celebration of the year. I know you're gonna be there. One of the things that we do is I'm just trying to make sure that we bridge the gap with the younger generation
mm-hmm.
and the now generation
mm-hmm.
to understand it's like, I guess I really want to educate and really put this scenario together that youth got to understand we need wisdom, and wisdom needs youth. It's like having a racehorse.
Yeah.
Well, the racehorse is a youth. They going to be fiery. They going to be jumping out the stall to run the race.
Right.
But the older people, myself and others, we the jockeys.
Yeah, we gotta
right way. We got to guide them in the right direction, because just because they fast, they can go to the left, they can go to the right, but we have enough experience
mm-hmm.
in the race
mm-hmm.
that we can slow them down and move them to the side.
Mm-hmm. And not make the mistakes that we made.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's time to let them go, let them run their race. And one of the things I hate people to say is, I don't know what this next generation is going to do. They not equipped to take over. I always say, we was the same people.
Come on now.
They gonna be all right.
Yeah.
We just got to keep loving on them and keep guiding them. I promise you, they gonna be all right.
Yeah.
I love the way this young generation.
Me too.
They fiery. They won't change.
They ain't scared.
That's one thing. They bold. And if you want to make something happen, like I know, because when I was young and I was 27, 28 trying to get in this field, I had to be bold. I had to be just like they were for people to give me an opportunity.
That's right, yeah.
And I had to do that till I was able to earn respect, that I wasn't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And so it worked for me 20 years ago, and I applaud these young folk. I get excited to see them just doing their thing. And venturing out, and so I think that's why I have a great relationship with the next generation. Because they are me. They was me, so I see them.
Right, you see, yeah.
Because I had that vision that older people couldn't see.
Yeah.
And so, I'm just excited about the opportunity for this movement. And like I know, our people need to look at the signs. Things are happening with all these new judges, all this stuff
mm-hmm.
happening, all the conversation we never ever talked about.
Right.
It's happening. It's our time right now to make something happen. If it's the time. It's our time.
Now is the time.
Yeah, now is the time.
And I say this I've been saying this since the man died, because we lost a great one with Nipsey Hussle. But
Exactly.
I felt the shift in the culture after his death. I really did, because like the young people were saying, like, yo, he was this generation's Tupac for real. I was seeing tweets like, dang, now I know how my parents felt when Pac died. And now that Nip is gone and they see what he was doing, I think we're going to be all right, because we're going to get to that, because they see that all this other foolishness that we've been doing, that ain't the way. These folks, they see what they want, and they come in, they put us here in the first place, and then finally they see the value, and then they want to move us out. Nah, we gonna stop that, and we gonna if I could take a line from Jay that he made up Saturday night, gentrify our own hood. and get it back right. So yeah, I'm with you on that, man. Congratulations on everything, bro. The book is out right now, Maximizing Your Own Treasure Chest. You can order your copy today at Keith J. Davis SR for senior.com. That's Keith J. Davis Senior.com. Then of course, you know, his publication, dmars.com. Man, Houston's Jim, market icon, been doing it for an H-Town legend. D-Mars, thanks for coming on the program, boy.
If I have one more thing to say, I would tell everybody, and listen to me well. You know, I want y'all to understand, we all have a treasure chest. Leave your treasure chest open so you can give some treasures and you can receive some treasures. For us to make this community better, and like you said earlier, it's our time. We have to do that. We got to share our jewels so we can make a difference. Thank you. I love you. I love my community. I was born here, and I'm going to die here, and I'm going to give y'all all of my best. Thank you.
No doubt. D-Mars, I thank you for coming on. And thank you for listening to Access Houston.